Hey everyone, and welcome to Stock Talk on October 10th. By no mistake, you're looking at the S&P 500 on the intraday chart. We had the indices selling off significantly. The S&P 500 over 3%, the Nasdaq over 4%. And I went live during midday to give you guys a recap of what I was looking at. And you guys can see that the continuation and the follow through after we break major support lines. We have a ton to talk about today. I believe it was the worst day in more than 8 months for US stocks. So what a shock to pretty much everyone on today's day, right? This is the S&P 500. We're looking at the intraday chart, and we can actually see the S&P 500 selling off even more. I have adjusted several lines. I'm going to take you guys out to the yearly chart, and we have a ton to get through today. So this is what it looks like on the yearly chart, okay? And you guys can see how, first of all, we had a high support line. This support line had to hold, otherwise we were going to see cascade effects down to other support levels, one of which was 279.40. Looking for support there, didn't do it. We're looking for a daily close then at that level. Didn't happen, and we closed right here, 278.27. So the question you have to ask yourself in that case is the selling done, or why did we close at that area? Well, actually, for no apparent reason, we closed at that area. So what does that mean? Well, looking at this chart, we're in between support and resistance areas. That's showing potential down moves to come, okay? That's the first thing. Now, I want to take you guys to the intraday chart just to show you that my red line is situated at 276.22. Are we there yet? We're around $1 away, just after market, $1 away. Now, why is that such an important area? Well, taking you guys back to the yearly chart, you guys can see, showing you this multiple angles, that this is the 150 period moving average, nearly very close to the 200 period moving average, right around this area. Can you also see that there's a gap fill area around this area? This is the area of major support. Okay, that area I just talked to you about, guys, about. Looking for some sort of reaction at that level, whether it is during the close and after market today, okay, or during the open tomorrow. There's a couple of possibilities I'm looking at. First of all, the momentum is obviously to the downside, right? Obviously to the downside. So you might be asking, well, there might be another cascade effect below the support line. We'll talk about that scenario in a moment, but I want to show you guys back. This isn't back in February. This is back in March, referencing those period time points, right? What did we have in periods before us? Can you guys see that we gapped down after a major sell-off? We gapped down after market, and the market pushed us over a certain level until we formed yet another reversal candle that formed back to the downside. Question is right now, are we oversold? Yes, we are. We are short-term oversold. So what could be happening right now? Well, what we're seeing right now is we're seeing, we're going lower after market. Whether that carries over to aftermarket, to pre-market tomorrow, we'll see. Anything goes at that point, but you guys can imagine one of the scenarios is if it goes down, we could potentially push higher tomorrow before that next leg down. So it doesn't have to cascade down tomorrow. That's the first thing, okay? Now, what's another scenario, right? One of the scenarios is I still have this support, or now the new resistance line, at 279.37. We closed at 278.27. Can you guys imagine a scenario in which we perhaps gap down, test this support, and then push higher to this support and retest that resistance area? Sure, that's very possible, right? We are in the oversold trajectory. So if it goes up tomorrow, if the markets manage to push up tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised. But if we have a continuation lower, I wouldn't be surprised as well. The momentum is being pushed to the downside. And in my opinion, the downside action has not concluded yet. And, you know, there's a couple of things. One, you guys can see that is the critical support level, right? Now, that support level, does it have to hold? Okay, that's the new question, right? So the new question is, does this level here have to hold? Well, let's see how many times we tested this area, right? Here we tested the 150 period moving average. Here we tested the 200 period moving average pretty much twice, right? Here we are right here. We've tested it twice. This will be around the third time mark. And hence, we could potentially break this mark with impulsive selling just like today. Does it have to happen tomorrow? No, but it's a possibility. Where's their next support line? It's down here at 269.35. That's our support line, but by that point, I don't want to be going in long into the market. I'm not long into the market right now. I'm not going to guess where the bottom is. Like I told you guys in yesterday's video, never guess where the bottom is, right? Because when you're guessing, chances are you might be wrong. And here, once again, that was another area where you could have been fooled into the wrong trade at the wrong time if you were looking to go long into the markets. And here, there we go, right down. And hence, you know, one of the option was what? I talked about watchful waiting. Just wait on the sidelines. You don't have to participate in this if you are looking to go long. Remember, we'll have time to find the bottom. After a major move to the downside like this, look how long it took us to potentially find a bottom. Look how long it took us to potentially find a bottom. Several days at a minimum. Right? So it's not going to be a 1 day down. Well, it might be 1 day down, 1 day up, but it's not going to be that definitive reversal saying, you know, it's not going to be that 1 day up in which, oh, we're going to just continue trekking higher and reverse off of this drop. That's just not going to happen. We need to see consolidation patterns near a possible support. Okay? Now, just taking you guys back to my previous analysis of the S&P 500, we see this higher low line that was broken today, right? I'll show you guys the intraday chart. I was actively communicating today with the members on Discord. We had a lot to talk about, so hopefully you guys benefited from all that. I was showing you charts left and right, several charts, and we're going to go through all those charts in a minute. Here's SPY, right? Look at the bottom area of the support level. The red line, right? And once again, I did this analysis midday and we were bouncing off of that level. And I said that, you know, look for a bounce at that level. Did we have that? We had that several times. Look at this bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4. Crack down. We filled a gap. I removed a box. I had a grayed box in the area where I removed it. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times we tested the support until we finally broke through. What was that pattern, first of all? That was a bear flag pattern intraday that is playing out to the downside, right? Bear flag pattern number 1. Now, this is why technical line is so important, because we're monitoring that area, and you guys can imagine, what is it doing in that area at the support line? It's tapping, 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 tapping. And at one point, once you tap so much, that line's going to break. Just as similarly, I just talked about on the yearly chart on the S&P 500, how if we tap the 200 period moving average many times, it's going to be more likely to break. And because this is the third time, you know, and because we had such an impulsive sell-off today, we were looking for support here, and we ended up in the middle, not even at a support area. We sold off towards the end of the day, and hence you guys can see this cascade action occurring even after market. All right, so that's my perspective on the S&P 500. We probably will come back and revisit this graph in a moment. Actually, let's take you guys to the 3-year weekly chart of the S&P 500. You guys can see my support levels here. Now, on this chart, what you're seeing is a 50 period moving average that's moving higher, right? That's the first thing you see, and that it's situated around 274.73. Can we come to that area? Yes, we can. We can certainly make a tail candle at that area, and then that could be the possible area of a support. Okay, so there's major areas I'm looking at. First is the red line on the yearly chart. Second is the blue line, but we need to do what? Consolidate at that area for several days, right? So in my opinion, you know, for this market to still have some sort of steam left in it, we have to hold in this range, the 50-period moving average and the red line, okay? Down here, it's a support level, sure, but by that point, I'm just going to be looking for more downsides to come if we get to that area. So, you know, that's what I'm looking for. That's the S&P 500. I'm going to show you guys a lot of charts. IWM small caps. Look how convoluted this looks right now. This is a 3-year weekly chart. We haven't closed out the week yet. It looks convoluted, so let's not take that with, you know, just by eye. Let's take a look at the yearly chart, because the yearly chart, today's close, has been defined. What do you see on the yearly chart? A break below the 200-period moving average. And I told the members, if we break the 200-period moving average, there's going to be significant selling in the small caps. Here it is right now, and this was the impulsive move downwards to this level, okay? So we found not even a support. We just closed out the day, and we ran out of time at 156.56. So you guys can see it's still sold at 155.55. So what are we looking for small caps? Well, small caps at a minimum looks like it's oversold, right? But the momentum is being pushed to the downside. And, you know, this being under the 200-period moving average, that's no good, obviously, right? No good. And that is also signaling potentially more downside to come in the markets. That's incredible, this move downwards. This pretty much wiped out our entire bullish run from May. The IWM. Take you guys to the NASDAQ E-mini futures. Can you guys see what happened today on the yearly chart? We closed, daily closed below the 200-period moving average. What does that mean? Again, this is signaling a significant downside to come. Can we recover it? So I'm going to show you guys the 3-year weekly chart. This is what it looks like right now. Okay, so we closed below. Where's our support level? Well, our support level could be at the 50-period moving average, 69.30, around the area. That's 70 points away, but we'll have to see the reaction once we get to that level. Will the 50-period moving average hold? It could, but if other indices are selling off, and if we're below the moving averages, we could sell off even further. And I think if you kind of just look at other people's opinions, other people's analyst opinions today, you might be getting the sense that this is the way they're talking about now. You know, because we're at that, where we closed today was pretty critical in my opinion, in my book. So there's the NASDAQ, and then we talked about the S&P 500. So guys, this just obviously doesn't look good. There's, like, I'm trying to put a more bullish case together for us, but we don't even see consolidation right now. So there is no bullish case at the moment. So the bullish case would have to be if we watch until Friday, right? And if we start consolidating at that level, then we could potentially reverse off of this low over here. Okay, I gave you guys a range. That could be potentially what the catalyst could be for a potential reversal higher, but way too early to call at this moment. Yeah, so I want to take you guys to XLF, which is financials. And earlier today, we looked at this chart. It didn't look too bad, right? It didn't look too bad because we were talking about this, and it was at the moment of time, I believe it was less than 1% down. Look how much financials sold off. And because of today's movement, the financials selling off so much, you have to imagine bank earnings are coming out at the end of the week and next week, right? How much could that really lift the market at this point in time? That puts the earnings perspective into question. Isn't that interesting? Looking at the 3-year weekly chart. Now, remember, the week hasn't closed yet. That's number one. 3-year chart, it looks rather okay, right? This is a bull flag formation, but you guys can imagine, I gave you guys this scenario in this midday analysis that we still, in order, this bull flag can continue to form, but there's over another 3% drop possibly in the XLF. Even if this bull flag were to continue on higher, that's worrisome, right? That's worrisome at the very least. So where are we right now? I mean, is this even a support level? I mean, we've had reactions over here, but we dipped below. That's hard to say, and we close pretty much at the bottom. So it's, there's more down. There could be potentially more downside for XLF. So watching that one. Another one I'm closely monitoring is Apple. Apple is a major component of the indices, and if Apple breaks, the indices will likely break, right? That's just how it is. Looking at Apple, we fell by the end of the day over 4.5%. I was telling the members today, I was like, look at the markets. Dow was down like 300 points. I'm like, look at Apple. It's only down 1.5%. It's almost nothing. Apple needed to break in order for the markets to break. We saw that in the later half of the day. Looking at the intraday chart, can you guys see how Apple broke down at the end of the day? Okay, these are things I'm monitoring. Look at the yearly chart. We closed, if I had an ideal support level, it would have been around 216.55. We closed a little bit under that. I can give some leeway to the support lines, that's fine, but this is an impulsive move down. If Apple continues to move lower, or perhaps if we retest this area tomorrow and continues to push lower, guys, markets will continue dropping at that point. Showing you guys the 3-year weekly chart. Pointed this one out to you guys. If you looked at this chart by itself, it looks fine. It looks fine at this point, right? It's a consolidation pattern. We've consolidated here, and what happened? Here was earnings, and this was the push higher. When does Apple's earnings come out? November 1st. What day are we in right now? October 10th. So we could come down, right, before potentially earnings and that lift higher. That's what lifted higher us last time, right? So, guys, that's what I'm watching. Hence, I'm looking for more downside in the markets, believe it or not, even after this major drop. We're looking at several tickers that's just kind of, we haven't seen these values in a while. Square down over 10%. When was the last time that happened? I personally can't recall that, but, NVIDIA down over 7%. Amazon down over 6%. I don't remember the last time that happened. It's been a while. So, hence, that's for you guys to take a look at. Volatility is next, TVIX. Here's TVIX on the yearly chart. And look at that surge of volume that came in. Looking at this chart, do you believe that 4111 is the high? No. Just looking at this chart, this looks like we will have more capitulation by the markets and that TVIX would likely to surge higher. Now, the thing is, we did have a high volume surge, right? We did have higher volume, but this, this is mimicking what could potentially occur in the past, right? We closed at the high as well. That is certainly interesting. We didn't even sell off at the end of the day, which is what we usually see for volatility. So here's volatility, up over 30% today. And in my opinion, of course, if volatility is going to continue higher, then markets will continue lower. Interestingly enough, I want to point you guys to this area right here. We have a gap fill area from here to 45.26. Look for that area as a possible area of resistance for volatility. So be on the lookout. This specific area, 42.88 to around 45, that's where I would potentially look for a short-term reversal back to the downside if those numbers are fulfilled. Okay. Wow, what a day. And let's take a look at your commodities. Forward/CL, crude oil futures, coming down with the markets today. So, crude oil, we're at the 20 period moving average. Let's take a look at the 3-year weekly chart and just to see where we're at right now. So, I think short term, you guys can see that now it's broken the supports, retesting the 20 period moving average. Has the uptrend been broken yet? If I take you guys to the 3-year weekly chart and you just looked at this, of course, this candle hasn't fully formed, right? The uptrend hasn't been completely broken, but we can certainly come down and retest 7106 at this point, right? Because that is the area in which we started moving higher. That's the area. Crude oil, I think short term, moving lower, just based off of this pattern, simple pattern. And yeah, I think crude oil will have to evaluate on a day-to-day basis because this has been on a rapid uptrend. Should markets recover like quickly tomorrow and try to make up some of the losses that's occurring after market today, right? If we if we open really low tomorrow and we push higher, crude oil might have the potential to push higher, but we'll just have to be monitoring this one on a really day-by-day basis because originally we were keeping over the support. It was looking good for crude oil, but the markets just did its thing and crude oil just followed along. So that's crude oil for you guys. /NG or natural gas. Natural gas is support, resistance at 3.411 around that specific area. Today, what did we do? We came down a little bit. You guys can see we sold off during the day, but overall natural gas continues to be bullish. Believe it or not, I think if you were looking at the intraday movement, you might have been tricked into the wrong thing. You guys are like, whoa, like what's going on, right? Here's the intraday. We sold off, sold off, sold off. But at the very end, natural gas on the yearly chart looks like the pattern is intact, and we still weren't able to test around this specific top. So natural gas looks more bullish. Can it come down? Of course it can come down near term, but it still looks okay with this one. /GC or gold futures. Gold futures, this one is the one that I guess isn't really on anyone's mind, or maybe it is on your mind, I'm not sure, but gold hasn't moved since really the beginning, the end of August, right? It's been fluctuating around this line, and 12.11, 12.12, definitive break above that area, will be more bullish with gold, but until then, nothing doing for gold, still straggling along near the support lines. So yeah, that's it for gold, and just nothing doing over here. Now I'm interested as to where we are on the S&P 500 again. I'm just going to take a look at where we are. And wow, you guys, yeah, so you guys can see that getting close to that support area where I've defined it. Once again, guys, I know it was really all red today, but if you guys can, if you have some positivity in you guys, please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy these videos. I enjoy doing these technical levels for you guys, and personally, I enjoy talking with everyone on the YouTube channel, on the members site, on the Discord chat, because we're actively looking at levels, actively looking at reactions off of those levels. So that's it for you guys. So let's take a look at a couple of your tickers. I'm not sure if you guys want to even look at tickers now, because unless you're shorting them, right? Okay, we've got quite a bit. We'll start with K9 MLP. Oh wait, MLP ZX, is that the ticker? So I'm not sure what ticker that is, K9, but please resubmit your ticker, and I'd be happy to look at it for you. So I did do a midday analysis for you guys. I think some of you guys commented on that video. Let me take a look and see if I can find your comments really quick. And I think some of you guys commented, and thank you for your comment, Synth Artist. Love your videos, Kevin. Looking for a reversal. Yeah, I was looking for some sort of at least support area today. Thought about Amazon, long-term or short-term. No bueno, right? This is no good. Long-term, short-term, short-term bad, long-term don't know yet. We need to find a support first, and because we, I showed you guys on this chart. Yeah, this is the weekly chart. Look how diluted this is. This does not look good at all. Let's not even look at that. Let's look at this chart. Well, that might even look worse, right? Here's the 150 period moving average. Here's the 200 period moving average. But what is the market doing? The market is likely to push lower, and if it pushes lower, Amazon's going to push lower. Can't do it. But I will tell you guys this, all right? For the bulls out there who are looking to go into the market, right? This is, in my opinion, a healthy shakeup. A healthy shakeup because we've really now obviously we see it's overstretched over its boundaries, and now the market is pretty much pushing and recoiling back to a normal position, if you may. So once this is over, and trust me, this will be over at some point. Once this is over, we'll have some great entry prices into many of the stocks, one of which is Amazon. But we have to find a bottom first. Can't just go in and guess. Amazon is going to find the bottom right now. 1755, I'm going to buy one share of Amazon right now. Because chances are, by tomorrow or the next week, if we're at 1655, that's $100 gone. Might be 1555, 1455. Who knows where we will be by that area, by that time when we actually find that bottom. So let's wait for that confirmation to occur. Okay. So your question is, where's the support? Well, there is a support around 1682, right? There is a support around that area. There's a near-term support, but these support levels don't mean anything if the markets are going down. These support levels are going to get crushed. So just to keep that in mind. Okay, so we'll see. What other comments do you guys have? Rico, you sold Drip yesterday for a little profit. Great job. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, in Neo, right? So Rico, thank you for your comment. Michael, thanks for your insight and your trading mentality. Yeah, I hope Michael. This is what I was talking about, right? Not guessing at the bottom. I hope that small tip helped you at least save you money from going long yesterday into the markets, right? So, and this is really what my course does, right? It's not only about technicals, it's not only about looking at charts. A big part of it is mentality, right? It's about how to maintain a stable psychological state so that you can objectively see where you could enter, where you could exit without really emotions impacting you too much. And greed versus fear, right? That's always the push and pull in the markets. If you're too greedy, right, you're going to go into here thinking this is a low. And then here's the fear, right? That's occurring. Here's the wamboozle that kind of shocks everyone. So, guys, yeah, just there you go, Michael. Space Ghost, hope you buy AMD. You said you would under the 20 MA line. No, now, Space Ghost, I'll talk about AMD really quick for you. And I'll tell you why I didn't buy, and this is my opinion, why I didn't buy AMD. And the reason why I didn't buy AMD is I've talked about a resistance area that it's a 20-year resistance from $32 to $35. What was I waiting for? I was waiting for an area in which we would consolidate before we reach that resistance area. I'm not going to be buying in near a 20, and especially on a kind of a moving, momentum pushing lower, when we've gotten rejected at that level. And when we get rejected at that level, let me show you what happens. 20-year monthly chart. When we get rejected at the level, what occurs with AMD? This is a landslide down. So this, right? So, and plus, coinciding this with the markets, right? Markets go down, AMD is not going to be pushing higher. And this is the perfect time for AMD to go down, as you guys can see, right? So where can AMD find support? Well, once again, this is the line right here, 2041. That's where we could possibly find some support. But note that in the past, when we had this major surge back up, we came down significantly, right? Newer lows every time, actually. Now, I'm not saying AMD is going to go below $5. Okay, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is it can go down significantly, and that's something you have to be mindful of as you're moving on forward, right? And like I said, I was looking for a consolidation somewhere over here, right? Somewhere over here when it was moving higher, but once it started reversing back down, look at these tail, right? These are reversal candles at the resistance area, right? Race Space Ghost. All right, McCombs, we'll tackle your ticker, the one that I didn't get to last time, which was not Disney. Oh, did we get to all those? Yeah, so I talked about Alibaba and Alibaba, right? There's nothing doing for this one, right? This one on a constant downtrend. Really, where's the support line? I can't even see it. Possibly the support is around 107. There should be a near-term support around 130-ish. I think I've talked about this in the past. I think I looked at the chart. I did fib on it, and I saw the support was around 130 range, but market's pushing down. That, again, support levels do not have to hold on these stocks. So thank you for your comment. All right, guys. And that is it for this video. Now, before we finish, let me once again glance at SPY and see where we're at right now and which area. Wow, so we're still going down after market. So keeping a close eye on this at this support line, whether we have a reaction. Now, I told you guys about this reaction level, and we really need to see some sort of reaction level at this 3-year chart. So guys, keep an eye on the futures tonight. And remember, guys, last week I gave you guys a date. What was the date? I said, remember and mark this date down. Was it this week or last week? Was it on October 8th? October 5th. It's one of those days. I said, mark that date down, because we were seeing that sign of a possible downtrend, because we saw the small caps dipping significantly towards the 200 period moving average. That was really a signal and a warning sign. That's why I posted last Friday, right? So I told you guys last Friday. You guys are seeing it playing out this week now, right? Warning signs are playing out, and guys, what can I say? We'll just have to wait for some sort of support area. Will take many days. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys still have a great trading day. Whether you're long, you're short in the market, just be careful, every one of you. But thank you, as always, for watching these videos. Hopefully these videos are helpful, and I will see you guys certainly tomorrow, October 11th, for another Stock Talk. Until then, stay safe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.